The HyperX Cloud 2 gaming headset was released back in 2015, and they're still highly recommended, highly sought after headphones, even now in 2022. And I wanted to get in on the buzz. I wanted to see what all the hype is about, and I wanted to see if they're really as good as everybody says. So let's just waste no time, jump into it, and let's start by talking about the package. The box itself is very basic. It basically just tells you the features, tells you what's in the box. But my issue with this box is inside there is a lot, and I mean there's a lot of plastic that does not need to be there. Small gripe. However, inside that box you get the headphones, you get your detachable microphone, you get one thing that I just was not expecting it when I bought these, a felt set of ear cushions for your ear cups. I thought that was a really cool inclusion in case you don't like the feeling of pleather or you want a different sound signature. I think that's a really cool inclusion. Inside you also get another box with your inline control, wire extender to USB, and your instructions. Sadly, we couldn't pick on HyperX. They did not give us troll stickers. The design and build quality is one of my favorite things about these headphones. I love the way they look. I love how premium they look. They're clearly a closed back design, and they're very light. Not like cheap feeling light, just lightweight in a good way, you know, so it's not super heavy on your head. They have a metal spring-like headband with pleather wrapped around it with beautiful red stitching and the HyperX logo pressed into it, and just a little bit of cushion underneath. It's enough. It feels thin when you first feel it, but when you're wearing it, it's enough. It really truly is. The wire to the ear cups is exposed like a lot of gaming headsets, and unlike some of them, it does not feel like a fail point. It doesn't feel weak. It feels durable, and I'm honestly not worried about it. And honestly, I'm not worried about the headphones themselves. They feel like they could take a huge beating. Like, I could probably huck them at the wall and I'd be like, try again, buddy. One thing about the construction though that I don't like is these move very easily. It's not a super big problem, but I find myself always readjusting them because I put them down and they adjusted on me. But on the topic of that part, the brushed red yolks look beautiful and they feel so strong. However, this plastic piece on the side, I do worry that if you put it down on your desk a ton of times, it might break, but not too concerned about it. I'm personally using the pleather ear cups because I just don't like the other ear cups on my skin. We'll get into that on the comfort section. It has a braided wire. It's about 3.5 feet. It's quite short without the extender, but then when you add the extender, it's another 7 feet and 1.5 inches. So altogether, you're getting like 10.5 foot of wire. It's absolutely insane. And I'm not a fan of the wire. It is braided, so it's strong, but it holds its shape really strongly. So it doesn't like move. It looks like it moves, but when you plug it into something, it starts doing these circles, and I'm not a fan of the wire. I'm just not a fan of the wire, and I'm not a fan of how long the wire is. But overall, the build quality feels really good. The ear cups themselves, if you tap on them, they do sound hollow, but you can't really tell that when you're in daily use. So it's like such a minor complaint. Now, comfort with these can differ from person to person. If you have really big ears, you might find these a little bit uncomfortable. I do have big ears, but the cushion inside is actually soft enough where it's not a huge problem. The clamping force barely existent, so it doesn't really bother my big ears, but it might bother your ears. Like, don't get me wrong, there's more comfortable headphones out there. Like, I would probably say that the Razer Black Shark V2s are a bit more comfortable. These are among the more comfortable headphones that I have personally used, but just remember, it all depends on which ear cushions you're using. I didn't like the felt ones because they made my skin feel very itchy, so I was finding myself to be constantly itching, moving, readjusting. So that's why I went back to the pleather ear cups. And I also like the sound signature that you get from the pleather ear cups. Very comfortable. 7 out of 10 when it comes to comfort. So you have a 53mm dynamic neodymium driver, so that does mean that it's a really good driver. Frequency response of 15 hertz to 25,000 kilohertz. And if you're wondering why I get so bored with 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz, it's because most headphones nowadays are doing a wider spectrum. You know, the lower the first number is, the lower into the deep bass it can go, and the higher the second number is, the more it can go into the higher frequencies like glass shattering, cymbal crashes, stuff like that. You know what I mean? The wider the spectrum is, the more dynamic it sounds. It's 320 grams with the wire, 7.1 virtual surround with the inline control USB sound card. We will get into that later. A removable cardioid microphone rated at 50 hertz to 18,000 kilohertz. That's pretty good, man. That's a pretty good frequency response. The original price is $100, but it's been seen recently at $70, to which I picked it up at $75. Honestly, right now is a great time to be looking at these. But before we get into whether or not you should buy them, there's some complaints that you should know about. These are very minor. All of them are very minor. I found that it was very annoying to have such a heavy inline control on such a long wire. It felt like it was tugging my ear, so I had to keep clipping it to my pants because it's so long. Clipping it to my shirt was kind of unrealistic. It might not bother you. It bothered me. The wire is really long, 10.5 feet. Is crazy long. Now, it's normal in studio headphones because you're in a studio environment, so you want a long wire. Now, my guess is the reason why it's so long is so it can reach to the back of your PC, to which I get that, but you should have put the inline controls up higher then. But then again, the wire without the inline controls is very short. There wasn't much of a happy medium here. I was either complaining that it was too short or I was complaining it was too long. But again, it's a minor thing. You might not even care. I cared. But before we get into the mic test, I do want to say, if you are enjoying this video, definitely slap a like on it. It helps out a ton, pushes out in the algorithm. And if you like gaming product reviews, that's what I do on this channel, and I live stream 3 times a week. So if any of that interests you, definitely slap that subscribe button and ding that notification bell so you don't miss anything that I do. And if you're interested in anything we talk about today, I do have affiliate links down below, but just know I do get a kickback from those links. Now let's jump into that mic test. So this is what the HyperX Cloud 2 microphone sounds like. I don't think it sounds all that great, but it doesn't sound terrible. Test 1 2 sibilance. So that's what the microphone sounds like. To me, it's not terrible. It's still just it's staticky and it's missing a bit of low end. Even though it has a lower registered frequency response, I still feel like it's missing a bit of that oomph. It is serviceable. But the best part of these headphones, the sound quality. I really enjoyed the sound of these headphones. I do understand now why these are so highly recommended. The sound quality is just so crisp, so clean, so open sounding. It's so refreshing sounding. With the pleather ear cups, you get a little bit of more low end and you really lock in that sound. Everything gets a bit more punchy. But if you use the felt ear cups, you do lose a little bit of that low end, but however, it gets even more open, which is crazy because they're already so open sounding. One of my favorite things about my Bear Dynamic DT770 Pros is that openness. You know, even though they're closed back, they don't feel restrained to that closed back dynamic. There's not too much bass, there's not too much high end. The mid-range is very represented, but the bass is very rich, full sounding. But again, that's with the pleather ear cups. You do miss a little bit out with the pleather. Soundstage is not super wide, but it is wide enough where you do feel like you're inside the game that you're playing, where like, you know, you hear something off in the distance, it sounds like it's off in the distance, not like right next to you like some closed back. Guns, like I was playing Outriders, and just the impact of guns just sounded so meaty and full. But the thing with that is that the sound does get swallowed a little bit. When too much bass frequencies are happening, it does swallow some of the mid-range and the high end will start sounding a bit crunchy. It doesn't happen often, but if a lot of explosions and gunshots are all happening at the same time, it does start to swallow some of the other frequencies. However, games like Elden Ring with extremely immersive and highly detailed ambient sounds, you just feel so immersed inside that game. Footsteps are so easily located. The directional audio is very pinpoint and accurate. The only thing that I really have to complain about when it comes to the sound is that 7.1 surround sound. It sounds fake. It sounds stretched. It sounds exaggerated. It feels like they just took the frequencies. It just went everything up. It just sounds fake. I don't like it. However, I could see some people liking it. I don't. Can they pull double duty? Absolutely. Music sounds great on these. Content consumption, amazing. And I bet, I didn't try it, but I bet these would sound super good watching some movies like something like the Avengers. I really think these would do great. These do double duty, unlike some headphones. The HyperX Cloud 2 is at the price of $70 or even $100 is worth it. I highly recommend these to anyone that needs a good all-around headphone that's good for content consumption, good for gaming, whether it's shooters like Outriders or more immersive titles like Elden Ring or MMOs like Lost Ark. It does it all and does it well. And if you're looking for a cheap wireless option, I just did a review of the Logitech G435, so if you're interested in that, you can click on this video right here. And if you enjoyed this video, definitely slap a like on it. It helps out a ton. And if you're interested in what we talked about today, affiliate links down below. But anyway, guys, have a good one.